Okay, minasan, today we're gonna watch Kamen Rider Gotchard episode 2 before watching Kamen Rider Gotchard episode 2. So without further ado, let us jump into the trailer. Let's go. Okay. So we're gonna have a test. We're gonna have skateboard. Okay. This is gonna be really fun and really interesting. Okay, so that is the first episode of Kamen Rider Gotchard. In the first episode, it is about world building, introducing all the key characters that we need to know for the rest of the story moving forward. Okay, so the first episode is actually really important to set the basic foundation of the entire show itself. But right now in episode 2, they are gonna start to go more in depth. Okay, like you know Alchemy exists, you know Alchemist exists, and you know that Rine, Kudo, and Minato belong to kind of like an organization where they actually have kind of like a Illuminati logo, something like that. So we might actually, this episode is gonna be the episode that we are gonna see more and more of that being introduced to us. Okay, so it's gonna be really fun and really interesting. But before I jump into the second episode trailer scene by scene right now, I want to talk about something that I find really interesting, because one thing about alchemy or chemistry for that matter is that when you everything about chemistry is using something that is already existing and you turn it into something else. So it is not actually creating nothing out of thin air. So I have a really weird kind of like a eureka moment when I was just thinking about the first episode ending, where Minato actually erased the memory of all the people that actually got involved with the Chemy, and even deleted photos or video content regarding Chemy. It really makes me wonder, like, those things doesn't really sounds like alchemy. It doesn't really sounds like chemistry, because like, even though you like, let's say, like, one thing we know about alchemy is that it is all about equivalent exchange. So it is about 1 + 1 = 2. So how does Minato actually erase the memory of the people that actually experience Chemy? And how does he actually do that using alchemy itself, unless he is not actually doing alchemy, but instead he is actually doing magic, something like that. Okay, but then again, hopefully they're gonna explain it. I don't think they will explain it, because that is just weird, because that is magic, not really alchemy. But you get what I mean. Okay, you get what I mean. But with that being said, let us jump into the trailer scene by scene to kind of like break down what we can learn from the trailer. So we start off the trailer with a really interesting scene, and that is the scene of Minato showing our main character the best of the organization that they are in. And if you actually take a look at this side, okay, like this side, there is actually a logo here, and I believe that is the logo that I actually talk about, because we actually get a close-up scene of the logo in the previous episode, where we actually get to see Minato's chest area has that logo on the cloak or on the uniform that he wore, something like that. And that logo seems like it is kind of like a combination of two birds, but the birds actually, the feather of the birds look like a hand that is actually doing the Illuminati symbol, something like that. And that is actually also the pose that Hotaro did when he actually wants to henshin. So he actually do this kind of like this pose before he henshin. So that is really weird. I'm not a big fan of that henshin pose, but that might actually be kind of like significant to the story moving forward, something like that. It might have to be with some Illuminati shit, or maybe that is like the magic circle to create the philosopher's stone, something like that. We are not sure. Okay, but in the first episode we also kind of like learned that it is how he is able to use the belt and how he knows how to henshin is because the father of Rine Kudo, like Fuga Kudo, actually give him the knowledge to henshin. Okay, like he kind of like bestow upon the knowledge using his ring. Is like, bro, I bestow you the name of Kamen Rider, something like that, and then he received all the memory, like all the knowledge on how to use the belt and all those stuff. So I would also assume how like the pose as well, like all of those things actually came from Rine's Kudo father. So that is really interesting. But I love the drastic difference between Minato when he is just a normal teacher, like he seems very sloppy, very lazy, but when he actually henshin into his alchemy form, we actually get to see that he is like more tidy, more serious, and this is kind of like really setting up Minato to be a future rider that is gonna compete with Kamen Rider Gotchard itself. Like he's gonna be the mentor of Gotchard. So I'm not really not sure whether or not we are actually gonna see like the death of Minato or not, or maybe they can go into another route where it is kind of like a sinestro role, like the mentor actually eventually become corrupted with the darkness and he became a bad guy. That is also gonna be really amazing. But with that being said, let me move on to the next thing. Okay, the next thing we get to see kind of like an overview of the I would say the HQ of the series itself. So most of the time we're gonna spend time in this lab itself. Okay, so we're gonna see this set piece most of our in most of the series runtime. So get used to seeing this because this is what we are gonna spend time with for the rest of the year. Okay, so really amazing thing. And next we get to see two cards immediately. We get to see Odoripa and also Kamentis. So that is really interesting. Like I thought all of the Chemy card actually got expounded, all of them got released into the wild. So I did not expect them to still exist. Okay, I did not expect them to have the Odoripa dance card, but that is actually the combo with Kamentis, if not mistaken. So next episode 2, we might actually get to see a new suit. Okay, Odoripa and Kamentis suit. If that happened, that is gonna be amazing. But I mean, like, you know, like Toei right now, they really focus on selling more toys than just making a lot of sense. So I don't know, man, like really amazing thing. But I love the design of the card. That apparently the card designer actually got involved in quite a lot of different Kamen Rider project as well. I forgot what is his name already, but he did an amazing job. I think he is involved in Kamen Rider Build, and he also got involved in Kamen Rider 01, if not mistaken. Okay, but it's really amazing. I love the card design so much. Okay, so next we get to see Minato like talk. Is this Minato? Because I remember him kind of having kind of like a red cloak, if not mistaken, but right now we actually see him in a black cloak. So maybe my memory failed me. All this while he has always been wearing this cloak. I'm just stupid maybe. Okay, but yeah, moving on, we actually get to see our boy Hotaro is like holding his hand. It's like, do not fap, must not fap, kind of like pause. So we are not sure what happened to him, but he might actually do something. He got electric shock, or maybe he's trying to harness the power of alchemy. Like he's trying to make something levitate, or just make a clay form into something. I'm not sure. Okay, that is just a theory, but since it is an alchemy test, that is what I assume. Next we get to see Rine Kudo once again doing some fancy shit, like using the ring power, using the finger bending jutsu, something like that. And then we actually get to see a lot of things like kind of like floating around, and we get to see our boy Hotaro is like being kind of like a kid. Okay, so it's like, wow, it's like, wow, magic, floating, blah blah blah. This does not make sense. Once again, this does not make sense. I thought alchemy is supposed to be kind of like, you know, changing one thing into another thing, and that is what we actually saw in the movie itself for Kamen Rider Geats 4S and the Black Fox. In the movie itself, that is the first appearance of Kamen Rider Gotchard, and we actually get to see him doing exactly that. He actually changed kind of like a the steel bar. He bent it around to kind of like tie it onto the enemy, something like that. But floating chest and umbrella, what? I don't think that is alchemy, okay? I just don't think that is alchemy, unless you are telling me that she is using wind as the alchemy element here. Then it would actually make sense, okay? But then again, let me just move on before I say anything stupid. Next, we get to see a skateboard, Alchemy. So this skateboard, I forgot what is his name already, but yeah, skateboard is here, and apparently Kajiki is gonna be the naive bystander that is gonna be like the how do I say it? The main character, best friend type of character. Like but he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know any shit. He's always gonna be left out of the loop because his memory is gonna get deleted every single time. And maybe eventually he's gonna go cray. It's like, hey, I felt like someone is messing with my mind, and like maybe alien is kidnapping me, something like that. He's the occult guy, okay? So like if he believes that aliens is gonna kidnap him, I'm not surprised, okay? So that is really, really interesting. But let me move on to the next thing. We get to see skateboard turning into a Malgam. Looks really, really cool. And I already mentioned this in my my trailer video of Kamen Rider Gotchard. But if you actually realize like how the design of the Malgam is like the human is like being mummified and they are being tied up in the body, something like that, and then the Chemy actually being fused from like it's like being protruded from the inside out of a human being, something like that. So when I actually first saw the design of the Malgam, that is what I thought. I thought that the Chemy actually goes into the people and it actually came out of the people, something like that. But after watching the first episode, that might not be the case, okay? But then again, at the same time, the way this Malgam actually appears with so many like money spinning around, with the tornado spinning around, it really, really made me wonder like whether or not like every single episode we are actually gonna fight with the evil sister or not. Because so far in the first episode we get to see the evil sister became Kamen's Malgam, but it does not mean that every single episode it is actually gonna be the evil sister that actually henshin into the Malgam. But instead it might actually be like it might be a scenario where like Kamen Rider O's the greed is actually in the one that actually causes people to become the monster that is inside of them, something like that. Like they put a coin into the person's head and then a monster appear out of nowhere. So we might actually get something similar where the evil sister is gonna, or the dark sister, whatever you want to call them, is gonna be the one that actually like open their eye power, vanishment, this wadudo, something like that. And then we are actually gonna see like the malice of the bad people is gonna be used to fuse with the Chemy, something like that, okay? So that could actually be happening. And if that is the case, it would be really, really interesting because there is still hope, okay? There is still hope that how do I say, that one of the dark sister is gonna turn good. That's what I really, really hope so. So that is really, really interesting. Next week we are gonna see Hotaro and the mom talking to one another, having a little bit of heart-to-heart talk. So that is also something really, really interesting, okay? Because like this is kind of like a quiet place. This is like the place where our main character find wisdom. So this is kind of like the mountain top experience of our main character. Like every single time when he needs help, when he needs any wisdom, he's gonna go up to the mountain top and seek help, seek wisdom from someone wiser or the sage, something like that. So the mom is gonna play the role of the sage. He's of kind of like giving him wisdom, giving him some way of life or moral that he needs to have in his life, something like that. So we are still not sure who is the father. of Hotaro, but he has been teased to us like who the father might actually play quite a significant role in the story moving forward. So that is also really interesting. Okay, like we might actually learn that maybe the father turns out to be like a really powerful alchemy in the past, something like that, and something happened to him, and that is why he's no longer here. He might, I don't know. Okay, really interesting thing. But moving forward, we get to see some really interesting scene. So okay, let me just go back a little bit. This is this skateboard though? This looks like a monster, but it does not actually seems like skateboard. Okay, I think it is skateboard based on the way the guy actually moved, like this red character actually moved. I would assume that this is actually skateboard Malgam, and the Gotchard is actually fighting with him. So that is really interesting. Next, we get to see Kamentis and Odoripa form. So, oh yeah, so confirm we are gonna see Odoripa and Kamentis form next episode. So this is what I call the Chimera form, okay? The Chimera form, and then we got the Rider form. So the Chimera form looks amazing. I love it. It looks really good, man. Like even though it is CG, but you know, like it's a good CG, especially with the glow, something like that. So I really love it. Love the design. It kind of like reminded me a little bit of Rockman EXE vibe, something like that. So it is really amazing. I really love it. So moving forward, we get to see Dash in action. So the bike is, we finally get to see our main rider riding his bike. So that is also really cool. But so we are actually gonna get introduced to multiple cars in the next episode. We get to see Odoripa, we get to see Skateboardo, and we also get to see Dash. Okay, so there's a lot of cars being introduced in the next episode. I mean, it makes sense because there's like 101 cars, and the most that we're gonna get is like 50 episodes. So if every single episode you only cover 2 cars, you just barely make it into the final episode. But remember, we're gonna have a second rider, but we might actually get a third rider, something like that. So the rest of the rider is gonna help out with collecting different cards as well. We already know that Valvarat is gonna have the Mad Wheels card and some other cards as well, like more construction and car based cards, something like that. So that is really interesting. But let me move on to the next thing. We get to see him using some gun, pew pew pew, something like that. Okay, so amazing thing. Next, we get to see some bike action. It's always a good thing when in Kamen Rider series we get to see a bike action. We might actually get to see Dash combined with another card to become a suit as well, because right now we actually get to see that the bite of Dash looks like it has eyes. Okay, so we might actually get to see kind of like another mecha bite, just like the one in Kamen Rider 5. That is gonna be really amazing. Hopefully they actually do that. That is gonna be amazing. But then if they don't do that, it is fine as well. It's fine. Okay, next thing. What is next? Okay, no more. That is the end of the trailer. Overall experience, it looks really exciting, and I'm still really excited for Kamen Rider Gotchard, despite what I said in the first episode. Like, I don't like it. It's not that I don't like the story, I just don't like the production quality of Kamen Rider Gotchard in the first episode. I felt like the cars are weak. I don't like the cars. Yeah, I just don't like the way they cut the first episode. Okay, like for me, I will cut it differently. So, but that is just me, my personal opinion. Obviously, you can have your own personal opinion, but yeah, I don't know what else to say. That is all. Goodbye. Hope you enjoy. Subscribe if you enjoy. Bye.